Hey, it's Coach B. Wiley. How is your day going? I hope your day is going well. As I said, I will be on here every day in the month of December doing videos. So if you're actually watching this live on TikTok, how are you? Or if you're watching this on YouTube, how are you doing? Subscribe, like if you like this kind of content. I've been coming on here for many years, not on just on YouTube and TikTok. I've been literally uploading videos since January of 2014. So I have a little anniversary coming up next month. And today I wanted to talk about women who date fixers. You know, like a fix me up. Have you ever seen a house and you were looking into rehabbing a house, or you're going around in search of a fix me up home as your first home to get you in the business, where a lot of single women will be out here like that, but we'll be out here, and I say we because I'm a woman, we'll be out here looking for the fix me up kind of guy. Maybe he isn't a great dresser. Maybe he speaks a lot of ebonics and you're very professional and conservative and you're in a lot of different spaces with business people and you would like for him to actually speak proper English. And so you pluck his butt out from wherever he is, and then you do on the job training to try to get him to be who you want him to be, versus accepting who he is and then challenging him to make some necessarily tweaks, as we all need to do, and then become his higher self, versus actively going into this man's life and trying to literally change him instantly. So if you're watching this and you might find yourself having a habit of being a fixer, I need for you to stop this. Everyone is who they are. We all have our things to where we need to kind of polish ourselves a little bit more. All of us can be polished. Some of us, and when I say tweak, what I mean by tweak is if you know, for example, that you're always late anywhere you go, work, church, events, baby showers, you're late to your own birth, having a baby, then you want to tweak that and you want to say, self, I need to start showing up on time. So if that means that I need to go to bed a little bit earlier and go to bed a little bit earlier and wake up earlier, then self, that's what I need to do. If you know that you tend to like to eat a lot of pasta, and once you have some pasta, you just got to finish it because it is what it is and you crave pasta. Then you have to say, self, I'm gonna fix me a serving of pasta. I'm gonna eat that. Then I'm gonna put the rest up already in the refrigerator in the to-go box, so I don't go back in and try to get that pasta. And or I'm only going to cook pasta like once a month. Whatever it is. I'm literally making this up off my head, at the top of my head. But I'm saying in life, when you're dating, and I like to make it not just about dating, but when I'm trying to connect with the audience, I'm trying to just try different kind of samples and examples to see who can relate, because you just never know who can relate to what. So however, back to the subject, if you're a single woman, and think about this, think about the last 3 guys that you date, because we all have patterns, we all have dating patterns. You will know what your dating pattern is based on the last 3 situationships you were in, relationships you were in, or dating scenarios you were in. There will be patterns in the men that you've dated, whether it is what they look like, the amount of money they make, what they wear, how they speak, what school they went to, what kind of job they have, whatever it may be. It could be anything. Their height. If you fall into a group of women who just like a dude that's like a certain height, and you want facial hair, no facial hair. If you want him to have completely straight teeth, or you don't care about straight teeth, whatever it is. The point is, don't be out here cherry picking dudes, minding their own business, and then you try to change who they are because you're trying to fix up this dude. And or don't fall into this category too. Don't just be minding your good black business, white business, Asian business, whatever race you are, ethnicity, and then you get chose by a guy and you exchange numbers, and as you're getting to know him, you realize, he don't have it together, meaning he isn't reciprocating what you already have, meaning your own home, your own car, you pay your own bills, you have a job, stability. And maybe he has a part-time job, or maybe he has a car but it's in the shop, or maybe he has some money but then he mismanages his money and he doesn't really know what to do with his money, or maybe he likes to spend his money at the strip club and or at the casino. See, these things sometimes are just who people are, and it's not your job. That isn't what I would consider a fixer. I don't consider that's just who these people are. Now, if you think you can go in and try to fix guy, I'd say why? If you know that you don't want a guy that takes all his money to go to the casino, and you know you want a guy that takes all his money, specifically rent money and bill money, to the strip club, why would you continue to date a dude like that? A lot of us can save ourselves a lot of time if we just realize who this person is showing us he is, whether he be a fixer or not, and then we make the executive decision to just go on about our day and our lives. I was watching, it's a show, Ready to Love, and it's got Ashley on there and Jermise. It's a few ladies from Ready to Love. I don't get all the names right. I'm not a name person, but I remember Ashley because Ashley stands out to me. She's super colorful. And it's like four ladies on there, and they're dating around trying to see if any of the guys are a match for them. It's a show, Ready to Love, and they're Make a Move. I believe that's the name of it. And when I got to thinking about how the ladies are dating on there, some of them are used to being so involved with a guy, and then he acts like he's involved with them, but then he flips it on them, and then he goes and he decides that's not what they want. And so what it made me think of, and that's how I come up with my ideas. I'll be watching stuff on TV, and then I'm on social media groups, and when it comes to fixers, and it's just like, you can't come into, watch that show, by the way, you can't come into a situation trying to fix. If it's broken, leave it where it's at, because it's on him to fix himself. So if he is not emotionally available, if he is emotionally unstable, if you find that guy that you're dating and you're interested in, and he is money wise, he is just all over the place, what you can do is you can talk to him about it. You can talk to him about being emotionally unavailable, emotionally unstable. You can talk to him about spending his money and mismanaging his money and all this nonsense. However, it's actually on him to be all he can be in order to approve of himself. And sometimes when you meet fixers, guys who you want to fix up, maybe they're okay with who they are. Maybe they're okay with not barely working. Maybe they're okay with barely getting by and living in their brother's basement. Maybe they're okay with wearing old, holy, raggedy clothes. You literally never know. So when you think of trying to fix something, you need to fix your face to yourself in the mirror and say, why am I trying to do this? Like, what benefit? And you also have to think about, what is the benefit? I ate some popcorn, guys. I'm sorry. And I felt like one of the little things was in my tooth just then. But anyway, you also have to look in the mirror and say, why am I trying to fix them? Turn it around on you. If a guy met you and maybe he didn't like your hairstyle and he wanted to fix the way you wear your hair, because maybe it's bone straight. He don't want bone straight hair. He wants some curls. Or maybe you got curly hair and he want to fix it and straighten it out. You're going to be like, well, dude, if you want that, why don't you move around and get what you want? Specifically, ladies, you don't have to fix everything. If you're a whole person that doesn't need to be fixed, then you should be attracted to someone that's whole too. You shouldn't be attracted to, you should actually, okay, let's say this. You're a whole person and you've done some fixing on yourself, and all you're doing now is evolving. And then you find yourself attracted to, after you've talked to this guy a week, 2 weeks, let's just give it the longest a month, and you realize, all right, he got some things that need some fixing. And I don't have those issues. I haven't had to deal with those issues. When I did, if I did have those issues, I took my pause for the cause from the dating scene and I handled my ish. I fixed it. And now I'm out fully whole, fully fixed in that department. And so therefore I need to be attracting what I'm putting out there. Get a curveball and you'll get, who is V? What does that mean? Trying to go live. V, if you're watching this, why do you want to go live? Because the reason why I'm asking, every time I go live on here, I don't ever look at my comments to see who's joining or not. But people be trying to join my lives, and I'm just like, what y'all gonna say? What are we about to say? If you got a question, I mean, I don't know. Should I be answering people who are asking to join the live? Y'all let me know in the comments. Should I do? Who wants to join the live with me and talk about dating and relationships? Because every time I come on here, and I'm not just like a person who knows how to master lives. I'm literally, I'm just learning. But I've noticed that every time I come over here, somebody wants to join in the chat. But anyway, like I was saying, how would you feel if you met a dude who literally wanted to fix you. Maybe you wear makeup and he was like, no, I'm gonna fix that and I'm gonna swipe this off your face and we're gonna, hey, this is my platform. Oh, okay. I didn't know. Hey, girl from Baltimore. Shout out to Baltimore. Where are y'all from in here? If you just joined, I've never asked that either. If you just joined, let me know where y'all from. I am in Missouri. I am in St. Louis. So tell me where you guys are from. And speaking of where you're from, if you ever have a dating or communicating question for me, feel free to just drop it in the note, drop it in my DM. Coach B. Wiley, Georgia. We got Georgia. Hey, CC, you in Georgia? Okay, I got some family in Georgia, girl. I got all kinds of family, but the traffic is too bad. So I don't know when the next time I'll be back, be back to Georgia. All right, so in the comments, if you will, who has ever dated a fixer? And what would you define as a fixer? I guess I could give that definition, right? A fixer, in my opinion, in my age at 42, and I would just be out and about, and if I met a dude, and then about a week or so in, if I would think he was a fixer, if he just didn't have the basics. And what I mean by, or he has part of a basic, like he has a job but he's not full-time, so therefore his bills aren't getting paid full-time, so then that's a problem. Or maybe he has a child and or children, so now he can't be around the child or children because maybe he doesn't have the money to pay child support, and now the mother is just like, okay, well, this isn't right, by the way, but she's just like, dude, if you can't help fund the children, then I'm going to take the children away and move as far away as I can. So then that plays on his mental and emotional mindset. And then that can affect and impact and have an impact on everything in his life. Or I would think a guy that, and a lot of people think fix me up is like substance, like what he looks like on the outside, like how his hair is grown, if he has a beard or no beard, what he's wearing, his style, jewelry, things like that. Those things invite. What is this? Why is it telling me to invite somebody? I've learned you cannot fix, but yes, I've dated one. Mother issues, a problem with independent women. Oh, I do not. Let me tell y'all something. I do not like mama's boys. Now, my son is 17 years old, honey, and he will not. I pray. I don't think. I don't believe he's a mama's boy. He's very smart and educated and aware. And it's just like I teach him to be independent 110%. And there is nothing like dating a dude who every time you turn around, he got to call his mother. Like, bruh, if she's your mother and she's a well-rounded mother, then she would teach you how to have independent thought. And to be independently on your own, listen to your gut, go with your mind, use common sense, and make the decision. Now, we all have questions in life to where we're going to have to turn back to our parents or someone we trust who has lived a little bit more life than we have, or I've been in certain situations. Then that's when you go to those people like, what do I do? Because you think you're doing the right thing. The right thing isn't working. You're still having this issue. And then, of course, you want to definitely go outsource for information. However, I do not believe you can fix a mama's boy. One of the people in my book, Hello, My Name is Single, Ready to Mingle, that link is on my bio. So my first book, Hello, My Name is Single, Ready to Mingle, I list a bunch of guys that you should not date. And the mama's boy is on that list, because what he's going to do is compare you. That's a fixer. You can't fix that. And so if you're watching this and if you think you can fix that, you're going to be up a creek, because it's going to feel like you need to be adding him as a dependent on your taxes. I'm telling you what I know. I'm telling you what I've learned from. I'm telling you what the young lady just said in the comments. Like, this dude is going to latch on to you. He's going to want you to make all the decisions. He's probably going to want you to run his bath water, iron out his clothes, fix his plate, cover him up, read him a bedtime story, brush his hair, brush his teeth. That's extreme. I know. I'm just saying, it don't always be extreme, right? He just baby steps you into that thing, mama. So don't be that girl, because being a mama's boy is not anything that you can fix. It's within him, and he's going to have to just meet someone that looks like his mother, acts like his mother, and then he'll marry his mother, which probably is not you. And another thing, when it comes to fixers, because another thing with ladies, every time I come on here and I talk about the things that we need to do, like the tweaking we need to make, those are my least liked, well, my least viewed videos, and it's just like, I don't know what it is about a lot of us women. I never say all of anything. I never say all women, all dudes. I don't ever do that. But what I have noticed is a lot of times us women, we don't want to take a look at ourselves. I don't understand that. That's all about self-awareness, growth. Like, why do we get so disgruntled and bothered when someone is being constructive in their criticism, whether it be a man or a woman, and we just decide that we don't want to hear it, or we can't be bothered with it, or that we're so perfect, and or take us how you see us. Take us, I'm gonna show up like this and you need to receive this. That doesn't make sense. And you probably will meet guys who then see you as a fixer, because if your mindset is not right, guess what he gonna try to do? Fix it. But it's not on him to fix it. It's on you to say, hey, you know what? I've gotten some constructive criticism from my mother, from my cousin, from friends, from coworkers, people who have an unbiased opinion about me. Even though they mess with me, they F with me, they still are mature enough to give me an unbiased opinion. And what they're telling me, all these people who don't know each other, they have a common opinion about me that is backed up with factual receipts, and I need to look at those receipts, and I need to take a look at myself, and I need to decide, this is what you need to do different in order to attract different, versus showing up as the fixer who needs to be fixed and then attracting that same thing. Because if you have a habit of attracting these fixer-upper kind of guys, then you got to look at yourself and be like, self, what the heck am I doing to attract this? Now, me, for example, I always use myself for an example, because I'm going to tell y'all what it is before anybody else can. I used to have a habit of attracting guys who just don't want to put no kind of stamp on it, don't want to say, hey, yes, we're together, but they want to literally invite me to the family reunion. I mean, mamas, daddies, grandbabies, dogs, cats, parrots. I mean, the whole family. They invite me to their job during holidays, like the holiday functions at their jobs. I'm literally meeting everybody. We go out on dates. He calls me every day. He's consistent. He buying gifts. He whining and dining. But then at the end of the day, you don't want to put a title. Like, what is that? Is that not crazy? Have y'all ever experienced, those of you who are watching, a guy who will literally date the brakes off of you out? He can. You done met his family. You done met his children. You going to work functions. Everybody knows you by name. They're expecting you to show up. But yet, he ain't said we're together. And when the conversation comes up, it's just like, oh, I'm not ready. Or you know what happened with X, Y, and Z. The last time this happened to me, well, not the last time. That's not true. When I was living in Arkansas, I've been in St. Louis now for almost 12 years. And so the last time this happened to me, like in Arkansas, before I got with the guy after him, was a guy that had got out of a real toxic relationship. It was super toxic. The girl was like, I hope you unalive when you driving down the street and hit a deer. It was just like crazy. I was like, she crazy. Why would you even be dealing with that? And it was like he knew she was crazy, but he was kind of on the fence about if he would go back to her. And then we met and we got along great. That was probably one of the best dating experiences I had in my 20s. And he was a younger guy. He was a few years younger, but it was like the best. And after so long, I forgot how long we dated. We dated for some months though. And he was very kind, very sweet, great listener. He was on paper, great. 10s out of 10s, but he gets a 9 out of 10 because of that commitment thing. So anyway, so finally we were going to breakfast. He was like, I'm going to pick you up. I'm going to take you to breakfast. I'll never forget, we went to the IHOP. And as much as I didn't want to do it, because I liked him and I had met his family, I had met his dad, I had met his mom. They're divorced. His mom has passed away since then. But I met his mother. I always go over to his mom's house. I mean, I met his coworkers. I went to their shindigs at work. Like, he introduced me to everybody. And then I just had to tell him after some months went by, I was like, this is not going to work for me. I didn't want to do that, guys. I didn't want to say this is not going to work because everything else was working. Great conversation. We spent so much time together. We always had date nights. It was just a great experience. However, guess what? I wanted a commitment. And that's the thing. You got to be willing. Side note, this ain't about fixers, but I'm just letting you know, you got to be willing to walk away from something that is not giving you exactly what you want. Of course, when you're dating and in relationships, you're not going to get literally run down your list and get everything 10 out of 10 just like he's not with you. But I'm saying, if you're knowing that you're dating with the intention, the intention to be in a lifelong partnership and or marriage, you just got to let it go sometimes. Sometimes it's got to be worth it, because at the end of the day, what was preventing him from saying, hey, I want to be with you, B. Wiley? What was preventing him? It was something. It was something. And I'm not blaming myself. And when you're in these kinds of situations where guys, you know what you want, and you know you want to be with this guy, and he's just not fully in it, he's not out of 10, then you got to look at yourself and say, self, will I be okay with this dude? Introduce me to his family. We're going on date nights. I've introduced him to my children. He's introduced me to his family and kids. If he has them, we spend holidays together, but yet he is still single. At the end of the day, he carries himself when he's out in the world and a woman approached him. He has the right to say he's single, and he has the right to date other women. Why? Because you're not in a commitment. And you have to ask yourself, are you okay with just being what you are until further notice? And we know what further notice is, until further notice. Because if he's doing all this with you and he doesn't have to commit, why would he commit? And so therefore, when he meets another young lady while you're still dating, because he has that right to, because y'all ain't together, right? And she's showing up with her standards and her boundaries and her requirements, guess what he gonna do? He gonna jump on that train and get up off of yours, because he's good, because you haven't drawn the line in the sand. And so what I did that day with that young brother is I drew the line. He's since married now. I drew the line in the sand with that guy. And you want to know why he's married? Because that girl wasn't going to do what I did and continue to date him long term and not require a commitment. So when I required that commitment, guess what he did? When I took him, my nose is itchy. I'm sorry, guys. But when we went to IHOP that morning and I said, I can't do this, he could have easily said, well, let's be together right now. He could have easily said that. He didn't know. You want to know why? Because he didn't want to be with me. And hey, and it's all good. It's all good. And that's how you have to have that mindset. And I could call him up right now. I wouldn't. He's married. But I'm just saying, if I were to see him or see him on social media, because we're still friends on social media. And I've talked to him over the years since then. But if I was to see him on social media or in public, I'd speak to him. It's no drama, because I'm an emotionally intelligent woman, as is he. So there's no hard feelings. I think I was actually on the guest list to his wedding, but that was in Arkansas. That's so funny. But the point of that story is when you know you want something, it needs to be, in certain cases, all or nothing. Me personally, I knew I needed a commitment. I wanted a commitment. He was dragging his feet. So I was just like, hey, dude, I'm out. He didn't try to stop me from being out. And then I went on and I ended up being with the guy for 5 years after that. And then I moved here. And that's how that ended. That's another story time. But anyway, so I was just getting on here talking about fixers, and if you had dated a fixer before, don't be over here trying to fix up this dude. Now, you can make some tweaks, and if you don't necessarily like the way he dresses, you can update him. I did this for a guy. I dated a fixer. I remember back in 2013, it was a guy. He was a husky guy, but he had lost weight. He has a football build, but then he was overweight. Before I met him, he was overweight. And then he had lost a bunch of weight. And then I met him. And so I was on my weight loss thing. I was really small, where I'm trying to get back to now. I'm actively working on that. We're going into our second month of working out consistently and tweaking my diet heavily. And so anyway, so with me, I was at the size that I wanted to be, and I was heavy into working out, taking care of myself. And that's the journey that I'm on now. And he was like a husky guy. So if you're a husky guy, even though he wasn't fat, you know what I mean by husky, like a solid build. And so why was he shopping in Express? And I said, dude, in Express, that's like the tall, lean, slimmer build. That's not for your build. You should not be shopping at Express. And I said, but what you can do just to make yourself, because what he did, he's bought some shirts that were like a size medium. I said, why would you have a size medium when you clearly need like a roomier? And they shirts fit. They fit. And I said, dude, you need like a large, I'd say an extra large, and call it a day. But she talked his butt into that, and he had the money, so he spent it. And so, but when I got a hold of him, I let him know. I said, let's tweak your outfits, because what you're wearing is making you still look like that fat boy that you once were. And I don't mean fat as degrading, overweight guy that you were. And you don't want to be that. You don't want to have that anymore because you've lost the weight. I gave him some simple tips. And when I say simple, I mean simple. And he went to work. After that, he would fight me against it. He was combative at first. He was full of resistance. However, I kept pushing for it and I kept talking him into it. Guys, guess what? He worked at a call center at the time and he went to work and all them women came up to him like, did you lose weight? You look good. You look like you lost weight. He came back. He called me on the phone. He was like, the woman was all over me today at work. They could have swore I lost all this weight. I said, because it's what you're wearing, dude. And it was just literally after that, he would call me because this was long distance. He would call me when he would shop. He would take pictures. I said, take a picture of everything that you like and I'll let you know. He was sending me pictures galore and I started dressing him for the duration of that relationship. And he listened, and that's a fixer. Now that would be something that you can fix. That's not nothing. That's not anything that's like a fundamental belief or fundamental. What am I saying here? That isn't anything that's concrete in who he is. That isn't that dude's character. How he dressed wasn't his character. It was just like how he thought he should dress. He didn't have an idea. So I gave him some ideas and he took it and ran with it. Now, a fixer would be this guy smokes and you have asthma. And of course, you don't smoke because you have asthma. But even if you didn't have asthma, you're not a smoker. And you go in, you like this guy alive. He's been smoking for the last decade. It's just something that he does, whether it be cigarettes, marijuana, hookah, blacks, whatever. He is a smoker. That's the bottom line. You can't come into this dude's life after, he's been smoking for over a decade and decide that you don't want him to smoke. That's a problem. The thing is, you got to decide. I'm going to take a drink of water. I got me some lemon water. Side note, I have been drinking a lot of lemon water. It's so good. I can drink it down. And then I got this metal straw. I got this metal straw from the Family Dollar. It was like a set of 3. There's 2 curved ones. It's a spoolie to clean it, then a straight one. I got them for less than $5. Love them. So anyway, that was your entertainment. That was your ad, actually. But anyway, so if you have asthma and you know you don't want a dude that smokes, then it's not your right to come in and demand him not smoke or say, well, could you just not smoke 8 cigarettes a day and cut it down to maybe 2? Or could you not smoke on the weekends when I'm not around? Like, no, that's you trying to fix him. Let him be who he is. Another thing is, let me see if I can come up with the last one because I got to go. I got to pick up my son from work. Another fixer thing is if a guy doesn't believe in God and you were raised in the church, you were Christian, you believe in God, you believe in going to church most Sundays out of the year. Him, on the other hand, he don't believe in prayer. He just believes that whatever will be shall be. And that's how he lives. He don't believe in the devil, but he just don't believe in God. It's not your job to try to preach him into a corner, to get him to go to church with you, to get him to pray with you. It's a deal breaker. It should be a deal breaker. It's not a fixing situation. It's a deal breaking situation. So you have to decide then, what should I do? And if you are a Christian and that's what you believe in, then you probably are not, in my opinion, equally yoked. However, you can do what you want to do. However, you cannot get mad at who this guy is or who he isn't and then continue to bring it up in conversation or in subliminally on the internet or anything like that, or low key, or be passive aggressive. So understand what a fixer is, and when it's not to be fixed. Okay, let me put it to you like this. I said that was last. Here's last. Because I want to make sure I'm clear. Because sometimes when I talk, I be sidebarring. I do that all the time. That's just what it is. However, with this fixing thing, you need to understand the difference. So those two examples, the smoking and the believing in God, you can't fix that. Don't try it. Walk away. And then, or if you stay and you choose to stay, you cannot complain. Those are the rules. So, right now, fixing, remember that other thing, that scenario I gave you with the ex-boyfriend where I tweaked his attire. I fixed him up when it comes to his appearance. You can do that. That's something you can fix. Sure. Or if you find a guy, let me see what else you could fix. Maybe he isn't that good with writing and he has to write a resume, and or he has to write a letter to a company to try to pitch his brand, his business, What you can do, you can help them. You can fix that by saying, you know what, why don't you go on Fiverr and hire someone to help you out there? You know what, my cousin does a really good job at this. She can teach you some tips on how to do that. You know what, there's this workshop at the corner store. They have it every Friday and Saturday afternoon where they teach you how to write to deliver to these businesses in order to grow your brand. Why don't you go down there? These are suggestions. These are options. This can fix his problem. This isn't fixing who he is. You can't fix character. So if you're meeting a guy who does not have good character, if you're meeting a guy who is used to just cussing folk out, talking crazy to his woman, staying out all night, going to the strip club, spending all his money, showing up when he feel like it, being inconsistent. If you're continuously meeting a guy who isn't aligned with your beliefs or is trying to actually change who you are, and you just want to fix him to receive who you are, those aren't the kind of guys you need to be dating. And you will realize this sooner rather than later if you ask the questions that you should be asking that I've recommended on all these videos on TikTok and YouTube. And if you decide, you know what, this is what he's showing me, I need to act, and I need to act now, versus sticking around thinking something's going to change. Minor fixing is okay. However, if it's a fundamental thing, or if it's character, or if it's who he is spiritually, emotionally, mentally, you got to stay away from those things. You can't fix those things. It's on him, if he feels like something is broke, to fix it himself and then put himself out there. That applies to you. If you have things that you want to work on that you know need to be polished and fixed for yourself, then it's on you to do what I recommend: not dating at all, taking your pause for the cause, work on yourself. And this involves coming out of a data breakup. I talk about dealing, healing, surrendering. That's a whole thing. That's a whole, like, what do you call it? Step. It's a huge step when you're coming out of these dating scenarios and relationships. You want to do that in your pause for the cause. You didn't want to do some self-reflecting in your pause for the cause. You want to get constructive criticism from your peers and family members that you trust to give you the real, and then you want to work on that. It requires a lot of work in your pause for the cause. However, in order to fix what's going on with you so that you can stop attracting and going for the fixer-uppers, then you must do that work. And then no more will the fixers come at you. Now, every now and then, the universe is going to throw you a curveball to test your gangster. And it's on you to recognize that fixer with the part-time job who rides a bike, who sits at home playing video games, who calls in half of the time on his part-time job, who doesn't take a bath, who doesn't know how to speak basic English, and who just wants to use you. That can't be fixed. Who doesn't believe in God, or you do, who smokes like a chimney, and you know you can't take it, you don't like it, your allergies messed up. That can't be fixed. You can't be out here trying to fix ish that done busted on the ground and it can't come, and there's nothing you can do with it. So you need to get that in your mind and understand that. And you're going to meet a fixer after you're watching this, because if you're guilty of attracting and seeking and being attracted to these kind of guys, guess what's going to happen? You're going to run up on another one this holiday season, and it's on you to put your foot down and decide, you know what? I can't go for that no more. Ain't that a show? Ain't that a song? No, I can't go for that. No can do. That's like an old school song, but somebody remade that song. That is so random, but I am too. All right, ladies. Thank you so much for watching Coach B. Wiley. If you're watching this on TikTok, thank you so much. I didn't even ask y'all to like it. Like it, share it. Uh-oh, I got something here. Work on standing on my, Cece is working on standing on her deal breakers versus trying to fix a man to fit into my version of potential. Let's not get it started on potential. Let me just write that down, because I have my list of, I don't like the way that pen writes. I have my list. This is the beginning of my list right here of videos. So that's the 9th video. Cece just gave me a Cece, more likes. Oh, I forgot to tell y'all to like this video. Last night I went live. I got over 500 something likes, but I didn't even tell y'all to like it this time. I'll remember that next time. But anyway, yes, his potential. I put that. That's going to be one of my videos that I'm going to do later this month. Guys, we got to get out of that potential, honey, because the potential ain't who he is. The potential is like what's in your mind. All right, my son is texting me. I got to get off this live because I have to leave. All right, let me make sure I didn't miss, because sometimes people be putting comments and I'll miss them, like one live. I missed a comment and I didn't know how to go back. I don't think I could go back, but I think I seen them all from Baltimore. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Like I said, if you're watching this on YouTube and you like this kind of content, feel free to like and subscribe and share. If you're watching this on TikTok, thank you for watching live. I don't know how many people were in here today. I have no idea. Usually it'll tell me up there, but I try not to pay attention to numbers. I try to just like put the content out there and you'll do with it what you want. All right, outside of that, ask me a question. I'm doing a video every day this month, but you can ask me a question. It doesn't matter if it's the month of December. I do something on my YouTube called Ask Be Wiley, where you literally ask me your dating and communication question, and then I address it just like I'm addressing this video right here, right now. Outside of that, if you want a one-on-one with me, we can do an hour coaching session, and you can book me. The link is in my bio, mymentor.life. Look me up. Coach B. Wiley, and I do believe that is it. I think that's it. So I'll talk to you tomorrow with another video. See you later.